Hi everybody. In this example we are going to pretty much cover everything we covered so far, starting with direct material used, how they flow to along with direct labor and manufacturing overhead, to working process inventory, calculate total manufacturing cost, calculate cost of goods manufactured, and finally calculate cost of goods sold. And let's get started. So in the problem we are given a lot of data, and we want to make sure that we are picking the right data from the table. The first ask was to calculate direct materials used. For that we will need the T account for raw materials. So the beginning inventory for raw materials, the ending inventory for raw materials, and the purchase. Those three should give us how much direct materials we use. And as always, we are going to stick to our fundamental equation on managerial accounting. Beginning inventory plus transfers in is ending inventory plus transfers out. Now, beginning inventory is raw material beginning inventory. Transfers in is purchases. Ending inventory is our raw material ending inventory. Transfers out is exactly equal to material that we use. The material we use is transfers out. Now, if I take these three numbers and plug them into the equation, what's happening is the beginning inventory was 50,000 plus my purchases 170. The total of the two, 220,000, is the materials I have available. And my ending balance is 40,000. That means I must have used $180,000 worth of materials. And another way to do that is actually solve the equation for materials used. Beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending inventory will give me transfers out or materials used. Now I know materials used. I can look at it on the T account. Beginning inventory plus transfers in minus ending inventory should give me the 180,000. Another way to look at it is beginning inventory plus transfers in minus transfers out should give ending inventory. Either way, we know that the materials we are using is 180,000. Now, let's take a look at cost of goods manufactured and total manufacturing cost. For that, I need to know direct materials used for total manufacturing cost. The materials used, I calculated it was 180. I need to know direct labor. It's given here. I also need to know manufacturing overhead, and I do know the manufacturing overhead is all these five different items: utilities, depreciation, indirect material, indirect labor, and other manufacturing overhead, total up to the overhead that I'm using. Now, direct material account is there. For working process, let's take a look at that account really quickly. It is going to be the beginning balance right here plus transfers in. Now, this is direct material. This is direct labor right here. And this 200,000 is the sum of these 40,000 plus 70,000 plus 10,000 plus 15,000 plus 65,000. You can do the math, but the total turns out to be $200,000. That is my overhead. Now I have the beginning balance, direct material, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. I also know my ending inventory. Now I can calculate transfers out, which is cost of goods manufactured in this case. Transfers out from working process inventory is cost of goods manufactured. That is transferred to finished goods inventory. If I solve the equation, I'm going to get that the 600,000 is the cost of goods manufactured. Now, total manufacturing cost. Total manufacturing cost, as we saw in the other example, in question 2, the total manufacturing cost is nothing but the sum of these three. Transfers in to working process is also known as total manufacturing cost. So in this case, that is equal to direct material that we calculated, direct labor right here, and overhead. And overhead, the 200,000 is the sum of, again, these items right here. So I know total manufacturing cost, but most importantly, I know cost of goods manufactured, because I'm going to use cost of goods manufactured to calculate cost of goods sold on the next slide. Now, transfers out, as we've seen from the previous example in question 4, transfers out from working process is transfers in to finished goods inventory. Okay? So we are finishing these goods and we are sending, they are finished goods 100% complete, we are sending them to finished goods inventory. Now, the beginning balance of finished goods inventory was $30,000 and the ending balance was $50,000. Now I know that transfers in is 600,000. I can apply it to my equation that I'm using over and over again. Beginning inventory plus transfers in is equal to ending inventory plus transfers out. So beginning inventory is 30,000. Transfers in, cost of goods manufactured, is 600,000, is equal to ending inventory plus transfers out, which is cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold, if I solve this equation, is 30,000 plus 600,000 minus 50,000. My cost of goods sold turns out to be $580,000. With these first five questions, the idea was to see how the flow is from direct material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead to working process, how the working process flows into finished goods inventory, and how we calculate cost of goods sold, cost of goods manufactured, and total manufacturing cost. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, please type into the comments section. Thank you.